So, hello. So today we are diving deep into paradigm that is redefining modern service management is sensory marketing. So first, let's define it. Sensory marketing is a service process where a firm uses sensory strategies to create multi-sensory brand experiences. So its goals is to support an individual's identity creation and generate consumer values. So why does this matter? Because we no longer live in a world where products are just tools. We perceive the world through our sensorium, the five senses of vision, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. So, in sensory marketing, we believe consumption is an embodied process. So, this means our physical sensations directly shape our thoughts and emotions. So, for example, so you can think about an iPhone. You aren't just buying an iPhone; you are buying the click of the habit feedback, the smooth coating of the aluminum, and the vibrant colors of the screen. So these sensations create the perception of premium technology before you even make a call. So why the shift? The textbook points out two major factors: the culture value shift and the digital technology. So according to the Incher was map, societies are moving from survival values towards self-expression values. We now live in an I society where individual demand pluralism and diversity. So consumers today don't want to fit in; they want to stand out. They speak, they seek brands that act as a mirror to their personal lifestyle. So you can think of the rise of consumer rights product like Nike by You. So allow individuals to choose their own sensory cues like color or materials to express their unique identity. So and furthermore, digital technology has shifted power from firms to individual. From Gen Z, digital consumption is not just looking at a screen, it's a multi-sensory dialogue. When you see an unboxing video, you are consuming the visual and auditory cues of a brand in real time. So now we move to individualization as lifestyle. So this will brings us three core pillars of modern lifestyle. First is self-fulfillment. People seek high-value activities that satisfy their fantasies. For example, someone might choose organic, eco-friendly food not just for health, but because it fulfills the dream of being an ethical consumer. And the second is identity creation, like brands that are symbols. You don't wear a Rolex just to check the time. You wear it as a visual symbol to build a self-image of success. And the third one is multi-sensory experience. So we engage with brands with our whole bodies. For example, a luxury hotel lobby isn't just a place to check in. It's an environment where the signature scene, the shop, ambient music, and the plush furniture work together to fulfill your fantasy of an exclusive escape. And moving on, the academic platform of this chapter is SER model. It stimulus, organism, and response. So first one, stimulus. These are sensory cues like the smell of a bakery or the lighting in a store. The second one is the organism. This is the internal emotion state, such as pleasure or arousal. And the third one and the last one is response or the letter R. This is the behavior, either approach buying or avoidance or living. So sensory marketing moves from the old good logic, transaction marketing or service logic, is relationship marketing toward an experience logic. For example, like instead of just advertising a car's horsepower, luxury showrooms invite you to feel the leather And here the engine draw. They are creating the sensory dialogue rather than just a one-way promotion. And moving on to wrap up chapter 1, so let's look in the SM model. It involves a symbiosis between the firm, the sense, and the individuals. So the firm designs sensory strategies using specific cues, stimuli. So these cues will trigger the sensations like psychological reaction to the individual. So for example, a sense brand strategy use a specific aroma to trigger a immediate brand as image in the customer mind. So you smell that scent, you don't just think of a product, you think of a whole identity of that brand. And so, moving to chapter 2, we go inside the most complex organ, the brain. So first, the gestal perspective. The key phrase here is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So consumer don't just analyze store item by item, they perceive a global whole or an amorphous. So for example, in an IKEA showroom, you don't just see a bed, you see a just a figure of a dream home where light, color, and textures are intertwined. And so, why is the brain a black box? Because 99% of sensory information is processed unconsciously. So the brain receives about 11 million bits per second, but our consciousness only handles 40 bits. So, for example, you might walk into a store and feel happy without relying. It's because the subtle vanity spin is bypassing your logic and hitting your unconscious brain. And the next one, to understand this, we use the giant brain model. So the reptile brain, the oldest part, is about survival instinct. It prefers pictures over words and is extremely selfish. So for example, a juicy burger photo trigger instant hunger. And the second, the limbic system, the center for emotion and memory. So this is where sense is most powerful because it's hardwired to our memories. And the third one is cerebrum, the logical brain. So this is where we compare prices and read technical specs. So provide sensory marketing whisper to reptile and limbic brain first, creating an emotion design before the cerebrum can start accruing about the price. And the next one, the perception is not reality. This is a guess made by the brain. So the perceptual process follow a path: stimuli, receptor, attention, interpretation, and response. So for example, two people might smell the same perfume, but one perceives it as sophisticated, while another perceives it as a overpowered based on the past experience. So now let's look at memory. So sensory memory is less than a second, like the flash of the billboard. The second one is the short-term memory. So our working memory that lasts about 20 seconds. And the final one is long-term memory. This is the goal. We want our sensory brain cues to be stored here permanently as episodic memory, experience, or semantic memory, or we can call that the facts. And the next one is the brain gender. So male and female brains are organized differently due to hormones like estrogen and testosterone. So females usually have language center in both hemisphere, giving them superior verbal and social skills. So they are analytical shoppers who spend more time comparing details, and about males often perform better at spatial tasks, but are instrumental shoppers. So they want to find the item and leave the store as fast as possible. So for example, like women are more likely to notice invisible service factor like the empathy of a staff or a subtle sense of a room, whereas the men focus on immediate visual utility. And finally, we have neuromarketing. So why do we use fMRI or EEG? Because consumers often can't or won't tell the truth in survey. So because neuromarketing visualize the brain reward center like the nucleus accumbens to see what people really feel. So, for example, in a famous wine study, fMRI scan showed that when people thought a wine was expensive, $90 or $10, the brain's pleasure center lit up more. Even though the wine was exactly the same, the brain felt it tastes better because of the sensory explanation. So, in conclusion, chapter 1 and 2 teach us that we are emotional creatures first and rational creatures second. By mastering the sensory brain, we can create brain experiences that are truly unforgettable. Thank you.